you can't be a parody and plagiarism. It doesn't, like, those are mutually exclusive ideas.
Yeah.
Because a parody requires that you have an awareness of the original in order to get this, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not like you're saying that, like, parody is inherently good or anything like that, because I have, like, a parody spectrum in my head that's like, okay, the top tier is Mel Brooks, and then on the other, like, the logical endpoint is, like, Epic Movie or whatever those movies were.
That's an extremely good scale.
But, like, they are, despite both their range and quality, they pretty much hit parody, and I don't, despite their quality, I don't see any evidence of plagiarism.
I don't know how you can't see it as a parody. I mean, like, right out of the gate, the game's like, I was put in prison for a crime I didn't commit, and then the guards show up and they're like, we're gonna put you in prison for a crime you didn't commit.
In 1972, a crack commando unit threw me in a prison for a crime I didn't commit.
You're under arrest for a crime you didn't commit.
Like, it's so on the nose that
I love it.
Like, you have to try to be upset at this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, it's like Kung Fury level of, like,
exactly, yeah,
like that 80s movie. Fuck yeah, super self-aware, tongue-in-cheek.
Like, I was grinning ear to ear, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm back. Hey, I'm Fingers.
Yo, it's Apache Smash.
Hey everyone, this is Days Ahead.
And I'm Nitroid. You're listening to the Kojima Frequency.
You know, I think it's fucking hilarious that the developer, Fran, was speaking on a stream, and the guy was like, "Oh, have you, were you like super into the like Metal Gear games? Have you played them all?" And he was like, "No, I just played the 2D ones." Like, and he called
damn, son!
He called MGS2 Wings of Liberty, which is StarCraft.
That's a StarCraft expansion.
So
like
wait,
this,
okay, so
that's great.
This guy has only played the 2D Metal Gears?
He's like super into 2D games, like, MSX. He's like heavily into MSX and programming games. Like, he makes games for MSX just like for fun. That's what he like.
Oh right,
now,
yeah, I
he
saw that.
Fucking loves that shit. I just thought that was so pure. Like, he just loves these games. So we're gonna get something that's like very close to the 2D games. That's not like he said something like, anything that seems like a reference to the solid games in the games was just an accident.
I mean, genuine respect there for anyone who's an authentic MSX fan and not just, I like it because of Metal Gear and that's it,
Yeah.
Because the MSX is not just a Metal Gear thing. Like, that is a broad platform with a huge fan base.
Yeah, I thought it was cool as fuck.
That's awesome.
Good for him.
I'm not even sure what an MSX is.
It's a computer, basically. It's like you could, similar to like a Commodore 64,
with the big keyboard, and you type you code it to make your games run.
Yeah. I mean, it's more advanced than that, but actually, I don't want to say too much on the technical side of this because I do not know. I know very little about the MSX hardware.
We see it at the end of the Phantom Pain, though, right?
Yeah. That's a Sony. It's like an HB something. I can't remember the model number.
So there's like multiple brands of it.
It's like how there are multiple PCs, like the MSX was a platform and you had a lot of different companies making different ones.
Interesting. I honestly didn't know that because I've always looked at it in the same way I look at like a Famicom, because it was like, which is probably not the best. I would say it would probably be more akin to what in the US, like, because it's not necessary. I wouldn't say like an Apple II computer or something like that. Maybe like IBM.
Well, I mean, this was an entire MSX wasn't a specific device. It was an architecture. So anybody who had the license could make their own MSX, and there were, 24 different companies. No, maybe not that many, but there were, you know, a lot of major tech manufacturers who had their own version of the MSX that have different specs and features and things like that. You know, like you had Sony, Sharp, Samsung, Toshiba, all these guys.
It's interesting. I just can't peg it as like you say it's a platform. I can't necessarily peg it as like an operating system, you know?
Yeah, and I don't know much about it on that side, but Microsoft had a big hand in developing the platform. I think if I remember right, it was like a joint venture between like ASCII and Microsoft.
Now ASCII is known for, you know, people you know, funky text art. At least that's what I associate ASCII with.
Yeah. Game facts. Like scrolling down. Big ol' ASCII down the guide.
It would be fun to get someone on that is kind of an MSX expert.
I once contacted Konami customer support and asked for the source code for MGS2, but they didn't give it to me.
That poor call center guy.
You were so close.
He's like, what is this kid talking about?
Let me talk to your manager.
God, I would love to know how they coded some of this.
Let me see this. I was gonna say, I like how the 50th episode has now become an episode about planning and software development. We're looking into GitHub repos, you know.
I mean, this stuff's above my head. I mean, I'm a developer, but this is.
I mean, do you think that like any of the aforementioned people that we spoke about, you know, the folks who develop MSX or the Unmetal developer, and then the guy who mods MG1, like, do you think they would be able to give us like the technical context for this? Like, basically put it in English?
Probably to some degree. I think it would depend on what you want to know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff is so far above my head that I don't even know how to comment on it.
Yeah, I feel like a dweeb talking about this and not like anything else.
Like, I'm looking at these objects here. I don't even know what you would call them. The logic folder. And I'm just trying to find, like, all right, where's the script that makes him move?
Find Snake.
Yeah, but that's
where's
not...
the script that deranks you for like killing children?
Right. Is there like hostage.asm here?
I'm just looking at the different room images, checking out the different backgrounds. It's neat.
It is. It's really cool to look at, even if you don't understand a lick of it, you know, because I mean, this is all Greek to me.
Yo, there's a sound and music folder.
Oh, snap. BGM driver.
What is .asm?
ASM is going to be a format exclusive to this, I guess.
Oh, fuck.
I don't even know what RC750 is.
Yeah, that's where I got to. I think it's the second word.
I'm too young to understand these file extensions.
It says something about Sagem later. I think he's like a fighting game guy.
SJA. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like everything's a .asm. What the fuck? Except for room images. That's the one I landed on. We got .pngs all day.
Yeah, but yeah, I doubt that is part of the actual. I don't know. Is that? I guess that is part of the assembly. That's weird that they would use ping files though.
Yeah, especially in that. Well, I guess they didn't use ping files literally in like the 80s.
No, they did not.
They're just like, this is the clearest way to do it. Yeah, without compression. Yeah. There's still only like 11 kilobytes, so I guess it's just because it's small resolution.
Yeah, there's not much to it, but like the ping standard is like that was in the mid 90s, I think, that they first developed it, and it didn't even really catch on until the late 2000s.
I was gonna say I was still using bitmap as
Heck
a
yeah.
dumb child.
Then JPEG came along and changed everything.
God, imagine like a PlayStation showcase coming out during a year with a new console, and here we are talking about like MSX source code.
This is the Kojima Frequency, y'all. This is episode 50.
Image standards and
I mean, I feel like that's an indictment on Sony, but also sort of an indictment on us.
Oh god.
That's how we do.
Well, okay. If we're gonna talk the Sony conference, let's get a couple things out of the way first. Fingers, how the hell are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm back to help out with the edits and stuff.
Thank you. I was dying.
I know that's you hit me up. You're like, dude, I appreciate what you do for the podcast now. I see what you are dealing with.
I have a newfound appreciation for this.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
I had to get resituated here in my new spot. Moved into a new house. Still dealing with the hand arm thing, but that might be coming to a close here soon. Might be getting surgery, but might not. There might be some weird, like, delayed ass healing that's all of a sudden happening 7 months later. So, yeah.
The knot would be great.
Yeah. Not having surgery would be great. But yeah. Been doing good.
Well, nice knowing you, Apache. You're gonna have to leave now.
Yeah, goodbye.
Yeah, it's been good, right? I'll see you later.
Yeah, man. Thanks for filling in. Yeah, thanks for just holding it down, everybody. I know y'all kind of just all of a sudden had to deal with me dipping out all of a sudden, but Apache quickly, filled in the spot and has been doing a great job. The last couple episodes have been fucking adorable. Especially like the episode with Boba, like, just gave me an appreciation for like like the fans that are just now coming into it. And that's like a big part of like why I still like run the Solid Snake page. It's just like when there's new people coming into it, it's just like just giving them like a good like direction on where to go or whatever if they have questions or whatever. I don't know. And like I know she wasn't into asking for any kind of help, but I don't know, just I like hearing that side of it more than like the seasoned side of it sometimes. It's refreshing.
You do get to kind of relive it again through fresh eyes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then teaching something about to these people doesn't feel like a dick measuring contest, you know?
Yeah.
No, that's what Twitter's for.
For better or worse.
Yeah, I've been staying clear of that. Shout out to all the dick measurers on Twitter.
On that note, I guess we do have some actual show news. Apache, would you like to reveal that?
I'm staying. I'm fucking here forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, I knew I was filling in for Fingers. It was very like, it's got to be now kind of thing. And I was grateful. Like I had been on the show as a guest, episode 38. That's off the top of my head. That's a guess. I think it was 38. I came on as a guest and I loved it so much. Like I really enjoyed just chatting with you all. I think we had some good laughs. So after it ended, I was like, wow, I want to do that every week. Like, this sucks. Like, I don't want to be a guest. I want to be on this show. Yeah.
Welcome aboard, buddy. We definitely appreciate having you on.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to all the viewers and everyone who's just said such kind things since I've been on here. It's been a real joy.
Yeah,
it's been a blast, man. You kidding me? I don't want this ride to end.
And it's I mean, after the whole interview with James Clinton Howell with Jay, and you guys were like, oh, you're the guy who did that MGS3 run? Oh, you're the guy who did the tuxedo run in a tuxedo. I was like, okay, well, you're stuck. Like, I'm keeping you here. You're getting tied up in the shed until we record on Friday. So.
Yeah, that was really cool. I keep thinking about that episode and just like, well, what a weird experience, because obviously, like, we know who the guest is ahead of time, but like, and you look at all their work and that's not included like in his work, and he's just like, oh yeah, I did that. I didn't know until he was literally saying it, and I was like,
and that's, yeah, I think that's
a
testament to James just in general, because again, as I mentioned in the last episode, we all know him for a completely different but still incredible thing that he's done for the MGS community. So
He's done so much work, and it's all really high quality.
yeah.
I think that's a great thing about this podcast too. We're just like finding out a bunch of like cool shit about, you know, the MGS community that people are doing, and you know, I don't know. I feel like we bring like a unique layer to the whole situation here.
Yeah, everyone's hard at work. Even now, everyone's hard at work.
The one thing I've really enjoyed about doing this, especially when we get to talk to people who have had a hand in producing these games, is that you do really get a sense that the people behind the scenes care about it just as much as the fans do. Maybe, you know, not necessarily in the same way, but with the same sort of intensity, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of times we do end up going into a very cynical, oh, you know, we work in software dev. We know that, you know, companies just want X, Y, and Z. So to be able to kind of chase that with, you know, seeing genuine love and compassion for these games, it's pretty cool. We use our guests to deflect our cynicism, basically.
Shout out to all the guests.
Any particular highlights for you guys, though? You know, while we're still on this topic.
50 episodes, man. That's an accomplishment. I gotta think back.
The Fukushima episode's the best one. I listen to them all now.
I think, like, hearing people reference Metal Gear Card is pretty cool. For better or worse. I've heard that a few times. Like, Tommy Earl Jenkins putting us in video chat hostage. That definitely kind of, like, got me out of my shell a bit. And, like, I met so many cool people. Like, you know, we do meet the producers of these games, and you know, we do sometimes talk to those people, but out, like, in terms of the community, like, I've been here, but I've not really been into the people as much. So I've had an opportunity to meet so many cool folks and have conversations with them and shitpost them with them on Twitter. Patch is actually one of them. So
For sure.
I think that's a big highlight from these past 50 episodes for me.
I liked when Donna put us on blast.
Oh yeah, when Donna Burke called us
So say
dipshit.
Donna was definitely a highlight.
And I still can't believe we got Ludwig on. That blows my mind.
Yeah, as a music guy, that's having him and Donna, you know, it's just like I was like, all right, I'm done. Like I'm good here.
We can't quit till we get Kojima himself on, though. I mean,
Yeah,
if we get him on, then we can just quit the show.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, we made that promise a long time ago. It's like, well, we have to stop if we get him on.
I will say this now that you guys, I try not to be like starstruck in a way. I think it's just me being like just lame. But like now after we interviewed Ludwig and oh god, sorry, her name is off the tip of my tongue now, Donna Burke. After we interviewed those two, I started listening to the Death Stranding soundtrack while I've been playing Destiny, and I also replayed through Silent Hill 2. I think I mentioned that in last episode. And I have to say, those things definitely hit different after, you know, we had these interviews, just because now you kind of know, oh, well, you know, Angela called me a dipshit, or, oh, I know, like, an instrument, like, you know, Ludwig, you know, went through all this process and destroying all these items and
That
all
poor
this
piano.
to make these to make these noises. So, you know, not to try to name drop or anything, but that's definitely been a highlight for me as well.
It is sort of a strange combination of being starstruck and having things demystified at the same time.
Right. It's almost like an enlightenment rather than being starstruck.
Yeah, Jeremy Blaustein. Even I mean, shit. We had to cut some stuff, but yeah, he was a delight and just a treasure trove.
Yeah,
of
Jeremy's
information on
always
that.
fun.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, talking to such charismatic people, and I'll shut up about myself after this, but talking to such charismatic people has definitely done a good thing as far as helping me gain confidence, like talking to people at my job, like business meetings with like execs and professionals. So yeah, thanks all guests of the Kojima Frequency for helping me with my other job.
It's like,
I'm good.
I'm not intimidated by you. I talked to Tommy Earl Jenkins.
Yeah, exactly.
I chatted it up with Garrett Hunter from Mega 64. Okay, I'm good.
And then it's like, Chelsea, this is just your performance review, you know, like but and on that note, you know, I don't know if we want to get into the Sony conference now. I know we've been putting it off like 8 times.
I like Gran Turismo.
The bit with the army trucks in the Gran Turismo trailer.
I was genuinely
dope,
very
right?
excited by those army trucks.
Yeah. I was in a model. I'm such a nerd, man. I was in a model diecast store today, and they had like army trucks, and I was like, "Whoa, they're like the ones from the Gran Turismo trailer."
Oh my god. That was me. That was me looking through my Norse mythology books after the God of War trailer. Like, I mean, obviously everybody saw Thor.
Big belly Thor.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like Thor at all. It was like some sort of. Why wasn't he like a super chiseled, good-looking actor? Just couldn't work it out.
You mean he doesn't look like Chris Hemsworth?
He doesn't look like Chris Hemsworth. What's going on? That's not Thor.
To be fair, the Square Enix Avengers Thor doesn't really look like Chris Hemsworth either.
I like the wolves that you ride on. That look pretty fun. A little like mushing.
See, I feel like this speaks to the actual conference, because it's like we hit a point and then it's like silence.
Yeah,
They were saying they were going to have an interview with the Gran Turismo guys, and I was like, yeah, it's a new Gran Turismo game. It's got cars in it. They look really good. It's very realistic.
I mean,
Like, what else can they say about it?
look, let's just get the elephant out of the room here. I think the reason we're all so tepid about the PlayStation conference is because we all went in just wanting to see people eat shit when Metal Gear didn't show up.
Yep.
We are Metal Gear podcasters. Hold on. Before we get into that, I just want to establish that we are Metal Gear podcasters that get excited when we get no Metal Gear news.
That's how you know we're doing it
As
right.
soon as we see you guys talk about rumors and shit, we're like, oh shit, here we go again. It's just like,
I'm sorry to be so blunt, but
We've done this for years.
we're all so exhausted and
We've
just
done
tired
this
of
for
this shit,
fucking
man.
years, man.
I had to take a
Literally
I
break.
don't want to hear another damn word about Abandon for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that was another episode I wasn't around for. My opinion on that was, why the fuck did anybody even pay attention to that? But yeah, everybody's just hungry for Metal Gear, I guess. It's kind of sad, but
I don't think the word abandoned was even uttered, not even referenced, nothing.
So basically,
Yeah.
Metal Gear, no. Fat Thor, yes. That's my takeaway.
There's definitely one thing that I'm hugely excited for, and that's the remake of Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
Because it's my
yeah,
favorite.
KOTOR.
It's right there, up there with Metal Gear for me, one of my favorite games of all time. And unlike Metal Gear, will really benefit from a remake because that thing is fucking dated, man. That thing is seriously dated.
I mean,
I love it. Don't get me wrong.
I have never played it.
what?
It's a good game.
Wow.
Both of them are good.
I wasn't an Xbox guy, you know?
I had it on PC.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm also not a big Star Wars guy, so. But I've always heard it was a really good game.
Well, don't worry if you're not a Star Wars guy because it's set way before the movies
Yeah.
and doesn't intersect with the movies. Apart from the odd cheeky reference, it's nothing to do with the movies.
Yeah, I mean, like there's still like light side and dark side, and Jedi and Sith and stuff, but it's no Luke Skywalker or any of that shit. It's just completely separate.
Also, I've been sort of apprehensive to play it because I think I know the big twist in the game. So
Even if you know it, I mean, it's still it's a very valid experience to try still. But like I say this as someone who replays this on her. I was gonna make a joke that was like, yeah, I'm really excited to play this. It's been so long since the last time I played it, which was like 3 months ago on my phone, which is true.
Yeah, they have it on phones now. Yeah.
Which is great, but it also kind of speaks. It's definitely been an experience that tells me how dated this game is.
How does it translate on phone? Like, does it play well?
no
You
game
can
plays well on a phone.
You can actually
don't know.
put in PC mods on the Android version, and it's
Oh,
not
that's
too
wild.
terrible. It's not too terrible because it's timed combat. However,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, I mean, the combat's not active, so it's just you're just
yeah,
kinda
so
click through.
you can just plan it out with your touch keys and whatnot. But
Huh.
like, good luck trying to pod race.
Wait, there's
Because-
pod racing in the game?
Yeah, well,
This-
it's not.
it's not pods. It's what are they called?
It's like a Star Wars
Speeders,
version
like-
of drift, like those drift races. There's those drag races you used to do in Need for Speed Underground.
Oh, whoa.
Yes, just like that.
So that company
There was a-
Asper is making it, or Aspire. I don't know how to say it.
I think it's Aspire. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is Aspire.
Because I
Made,
mean, I do like episode
Republic
1 Racer.
Commando.
That's a good time.
Oh, it's nothing like that. It's nothing as
Oh.
high fidelity as that, but it is there.
There's really only one Star Wars game that I got like super into, and it was Shadows of the Empire on 64.
Oh fuck yeah! I love that game.
I was going through my head of all the games. I was like, is he going to say Jedi Power Battles? Like, is he going to say
no, that's a lie. There's
Demolition?
there are 2 other Star Wars games. This is how not a Star Wars guy I am. Is that I got really into 3 Star Wars games and completely forgot that I was really into them. And it was Shadows of the Empire, and then Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight, which I
remember
used
Dark
to play.
Forces.
I loved
Sick game.
that game, and the multiplayer was great. Like, spend days on Canyon Oasis, and then Jedi Academy.
Yes, Jedi Academy is such a good game. I used to be in a clan for Jedi Academy. So in the multiplayer, there was like servers, and servers would be owned by clans. I was in a clan. Like, that was one of my first like proper online multiplayer experiences. And the combat in that game with lightsabers is really, really deep.
It is.
There's so much to learn with it. What a great game.
Yeah, I had a friend who I would duel with constantly in that game, and we would try to make custom maps and fight each other and look for mods and all sorts of things. And incidentally, this friend is the guy who made zoneoftheenders.org, if you've ever seen that website. Which, if you haven't, go to zoneoftheenders.org and take a look, because it's awesome.
There was a part where they interviewed him and they were like, "Oh, is this like a graphical update?" And the guy was just like pulling a face like, "No, we're completely making a whole new game. We're not doing, it's not going to have anything to do with the original. Like, I'm sorry if I'm using the wrong words, but it's not going to be built on the old engine. It's not going to it's not going to touch KOTOR.exe. It's going to be a totally new fucking thing."
Is it gonna still use what is it like?
Dungeons
Don't they
and
use like
Dragons
third
shit.
edition?
Yeah.
Is it going to have combat that you can pause and select options? Like, I don't know what the right answer is of what they should do. Like, should they still have a combat style that's similar to the old system? Obviously, it's going to be an RPG, right?
Yeah. Is it
Is it going to be like 7 remake where it's like completely active?
Yeah, I was about to say like Final Fantasy 15 or 7 remake or something where it's a lot more active. Yeah.
Does that worry you?
I can't wait. I just hope it's good. I don't care what they do, as long as when I play it, I'm like, this game's fucking great. I don't know what the right answer is, but like, there's so many iconic scenes. Like the first time you open the star map, Bastila's like dreams, the main character's dreams, Bastila being able to influence combat.
Getting your first
Um,
lightsaber shard, baby, in Tatooine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like the groves, the tainted groves with Juani. Like, how are they going to handle those scenes? How are we going to see them like in a modern game? It's so exciting to think about, but like, just please don't be bad. Please don't do this wrong. Like, it's really important to me. Like, I'm gonna get a sick KOTOR tattoo at some point. Like, I love that game.
Don't Resident Evil 3 it.
Yeah, I might actually wait until the game's released now before I get that, because it could like Game of Thrones season 8 me.
Aw.
Yeah, it's that character Revan. I don't know if you've ever heard of that Nitroid.
Yeah, I think that's related to the twist I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, should I just play? I should probably just play the original.
Just play
then.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely play it.
I think it.
Yeah, please play it. It's so good.
And like even beyond like the main story, it dives into a lot of world building concepts that you don't typically get from like a Star Wars entry, especially the second game.
Nitroid, I'll buy it you right now on Steam if you'll play it.
Hold off on that. I'm knee deep in near replicant right now.
He's got to finish Trespasser.
And Trespasser, yeah. God. I haven't gone back to that yet. It's that's a hard one. Mainly because I get stuck in the floor a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Trespasser walked so the gravity gun could run.
It did. So we have KOTOR remake, Gran Turismo 7, no Metal Gear. Anything else catch your eye?
There was a cool like game, and you're a little girl, and you can like turn into a pigeon, and
Oh yeah,
there's some sort of evil going on. That looked fun.
you can pet the crab.
Oh yeah, petting the crab. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd buy a PS5 for it, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't have a PS5, so none of it was like that great to where I wanted to buy a PS5. But I mean, you're starting to see things like like new Spider-Man. They got that Wolverine game coming out. I don't know. Wolverine games are really pretty fun.
Has Wolverine like had many games? I can't really think of one.
There was the X-Men Origins one, and that was actually pretty good.
Like, everyone loves Wolverine, right?
I mean, I'll be honest. When I think of Wolverine in video games, I just think Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like X-Men, what was that game called? Something Alliance?
Ultimate Alliance.
Oh, right.
Ultimate
yeah.
Alliance, yeah.
Yeah, the X-Men Legends and all those type games are great.
I was going to say Deadly Alliance. I'm glad I didn't talk first.
That's a good game too, though, from that era.
True.
Did you guys see that David Hayter's throwing his hat into the ring to try and play Wolverine?
I mean, yeah, he's a Canadian. I mean, you should do it.
Yeah, I figured it was a Canadian thing.
I forgot they were both Canadian. I don't know how I forgot that, but I did.
But did you think it was just like, oh, you think you can put Solid Snake into Wolverine, huh? Or something like that?
Yeah, kind of. If I'm being honest,
A Solid
a little bit.
Snake in a Wolverine's clothing.
Hey, Bob.
To be fair, if I had to like associate David Hayter with a country, it would probably be Japan first, United States second, and then Canada would hit third.
He would probably hate to hear that.
I mean, he wrote the screenplay for X-Men 2, right?
One and
Yeah.
two, yeah.
For the 1 and 2.
My B, David, sorry.
He was also the security guard
That's right, he was.
and
He had like,
and X-Men 1.
yeah, he had that. I can't remember what he said in it. He was like, "This one's still alive" or something. He was looking at Mystique pretending to be another guard.
Just let him be Wolverine. It's probably fine. Just let him be Wolverine.
You'd probably do it better than any other, just random guy doing it. Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm a bit dated with this, but Hugh Jackman, right?
And he
He's
already
Wolverine.
And well, yeah, that was weird because he's tall. That's still weird to me because he's tall. But fuck, what was I gonna say? Like, it's not unprecedented that David Hayter plays Marvel characters though. Like, he played Steve Rogers in a cartoon, I think.
Yep, the Spider-Man animated series.
See, there you go.
And then he played, interestingly enough, he played the Winter Soldier.
When was this?
It was in, I can't remember if it was in a game or,
No, he played Captain America.
no, he played both, because later he went and
Okay.
played the Winter Soldier.
It's not unprecedented that he's played like a Marvel character. I can see it. Like they already put the usual bunch into Square's Marvel or Square's Avengers. What's putting David Hayter as Wolverine gonna hurt?
Sometimes those cartoon versions of the characters can be like the best one. He fits the bill. We'll get him hired. I'd hire him.
We've been trying to hire him for this show.
David, if you're listening,
Please.
come on the show.
Get on here so we can ask you a bunch of Yu Yu Hakusho questions.
If we get to the 100th episode and there's no David Hayter, then it's like, what's the point? Or
At what point are we justified in asking listeners to tweet, please go on the Kojima Frequency, David Hayter?
it's like Brazil, but it's
Look, we're not
actually-
asking our listeners to tweet at David B. Hayter to come on at Kojima Freak.
David the Hater?
But seriously, I would really love to have that conversation with David Hayter where it's like not about Metal Gear. I think we get the same charm out of it as we did with Boba playing Metal Gear for the first time, you know? Like
Yeah.
it just like like a refreshing glass of dialogue.
It's like, yeah, we know you did video games, but tell us about Lupin the Third.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
I got like a whole list of Warrior Nun questions ready to go.
I still haven't watched that.
That'll get them fucking on this show.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's decent. I like it.
I have questions about his one episode cameo as a KGB agent on the that one sitcom that lasted like one season.
I met David Hayter at Manchester Comic Con years ago. I didn't know what to say to him, so like I need redemption for that because I just didn't say anything.
Oh, Major Dad. I wanted to call it American Dad. Yeah, he
Oh
played.
God,
like-
he was on Major Dad?
Yeah, dude, the whole episode's on IMDb.
Holy crap.
He was this like KGB kid, Russian agent who was like a transfer student or something, and he like makes out with the major's daughter.
Oh my God.
It's incredible. I've been wanting to talk to him about that for like years.
That's awesome. I had no idea he was on Major Dad.
I can't believe you know what Major Dad is, or like, I can't believe I found anybody else that knows who Major Dad is.
I'm looking. Okay, hold on. Wait, I'm looking at his timeline now. I just brought it up. Was that his first acting role?
Maybe.
Like his first notable one. Yeah, Hayter did some live acting in the early 1990s, most notably in an episode of the sitcom Major Dad. Holy shit.
For the record, I don't have a fucking clue what Major Dad is.
It was one of the dime a dozen sitcoms from like the 80s and 90s. Didn't make it a few seasons, but David Hayter was on there as a Russian man.
Basically, imagine a family sitcom, but where the main character is an uptight military guy.
It's like American Dad, but not as funny.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
It's like American Dad meets like Family Matters.
Nailed it.
Everybody, the episode, if I recall correctly, is still on IMDb. So if you want to watch David Hayter with a weird Russian accent asking to give him some skin, you know where to go. It's on his profile page.
From Major Dad to Big Boss.
It foreshadows Metal Gear Solid 2, where a lot of Americans pretend to be Russian.
Jeez.
Anyway, that's my last episode. See you again another time.
Maybe we should reconsider this. God. So, all right, apart from the Sony thing, which I know we haven't quite touched on everything that happened from Sony. I will say that they are cheating by putting Venom in the new Spider-Man game because that instantly makes me interested in it.
Voiced by Tony Todd.
Right?
Like,
Yeah, where's Tom Hardy at?
I don't know, but Candyman is enough for me.
I have very mixed feelings about the Spider-Man games. I think they rely way too much on quick time events. But if you put Venom in something, I'm immediately going to want to check it out because he's one of my favorite characters.
I fucking love Venom as well. Like, I actually love Venom. It's such a cool character.
Well, you can imagine I was not pleased with Spider-Man 3.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say with the Venom movie because I love that shit.
Oh, that was just dumb fun. I had a blast. No, Spider-Man 3 though, I do not blame Sam Raimi for that at all because he didn't want to do it and he got forced into doing it. But yeesh.
The Sony conference was so boring that we've transported back into the year 2007.
We're talking about more interesting Spider-Man news that happened over a decade ago.
Yeah. And now that I think about it, like I remember like Kojima, like he didn't even have anything for the PlayStation Showcase, despite Death Stranding being Death Stranding Director's Cut. I'm sorry, Death Stranding Integral being right around the corner. He just had his, which was pretty fucking cool. His Director's Cut trailer.
It is weird that he didn't wait until like the Sony, like the PlayStation Showcase to show that off. But
it might just not be on the radar enough for them to want to commit the time to it. They wanted to show new things rather than a third trailer for something that people know is coming out in less than a month.
That's already technically come out.
Good call. Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't have shit. They should have put it on there. Like, if that was the decision, we don't know if that was the decision they made. Like, they made the wrong one. That's what they did. They did it wrong.
Well, clearly they should have shown off the remake.
But do you think that's a sign that it's coming to PC as well, though? Like, eventually, that director's cut.
I don't think there's been any talk of it coming to PC, but I would be surprised if it didn't.
I mean, we know KOTOR's coming to PC as well, and that didn't stop them from showing that.
I thought that's like a timed exclusive too, right?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just thought it was on both.
I mean, I can understand an argument for why this version of Death Stranding isn't going to PlayStation 4, but I can't imagine it wouldn't go to PC at some point.
At least do it before somebody like hacks the leaderboards and then like
oh geez,
the records are like -1 seconds. You know how it always gets that way, because that's what I'm looking forward to.
That would be so weird, right? Like a Kojima game not going to PC.
See, I've been around you long enough to pick up on your dry humor.
That is precisely why I stayed quiet.
I picked up what you were setting down there, buddy.
No, but surely it will. Surely it will. It looks made for playing in a PC environment.
I don't see myself. I just put money on a house, so I don't see myself getting a PlayStation 5 anytime soon, unfortunately.
I don't think you buy them with money. I'm pretty sure loads of people with money can't get one. Like, it's something else.
Yeah, there's this weird like hopelessness with it. I'm just like, not getting one of those. So I don't know, just keep checking out what's coming out on PS4 and PC and stuff. Oh, what's Switch got?
Like, it's gonna get worse before it gets better as well. I mean, like Christmas coming up, people are gonna go crazy.
Yeah. It's funny, like I almost canceled my GameFly, and then like I look at, then it's like, all right, there's a few more things coming out, but just for the current systems that I own,
Well, until the semiconductor shortage ends, it's going to be like this with everything.
Yeah, people keep saying like, "Oh, I'm not getting a PS5. I'm getting a Steam Deck." I'm like, "No, you're not."
I don't need a PS5. I'm just going to get myself a 3070 when it comes out.
There you go. I would like to, I was fortunate enough to get a PS5, but I would like to get an Xbox One, if only for the fact that I can actually play Metal Gear Solid HD Collection on it.
You know what you can also
Yes.
play on an Xbox One?
Huh.
KOTOR.
You can.
That's a good point.
You
Okay.
can. In fact, I'm gonna get it on mine when we finish. I recently got an Xbox. I was gonna say One. Like I don't even know what it's called. It's literally I got a Metal Gear Solid 3 machine. I always forget what it's called. But like they're so easy to get now. I ordered mine off Amazon and it was at my house within 12 hours.
Microsoft has the most confusing naming system for their consoles ever.
Yeah, the thing looks like a mini fridge as well.
This the OG, like regular Xbox?
No, it's the Series.
Oh, the
S.
Series S. Okay.
It's just a little white console, no disk drive. So you have to buy their really expensive digital store. Like it's such a scam. It's such a scam. They sell you this thing with no disk drive because they're like, haha, we're gonna get you later. The HD collection was like 15 quid. That's dollars for listeners.
Thanks for translating that into real money.
It was like $20 for a game that's like so old, and I've bought like 9 times. And
Well, what about the Series X? Are those still impossible to get?
yeah, no, it's like super easy. I could have got one of those next day delivery as well, but I couldn't justify the extra money since I know it loads exactly the same on MGS3, and that's all I wanted it for.
Oh.
But I did get Tetris Effect as well, which is super good.
Yes.
That game is so dope.
I have that for both PS4 and I got it for PC for VR. And let me tell you, man, shit is trippy. But it's good. I'm glad you got it.
You play Tetris Effect in VR, and it makes you feel like you're in the Matrix.
Speaking of the Matrix.
Yeah.
That's what I call a smooth transition.
There you go. I'm so sorry.
No, seriously. That was...
I feel like I had a little demon on my shoulder saying, you know you want to say it. Just, yeah, shut up. It's not stupid. Just say it.
We're all sitting here looking at the notes where it says Matrix.
Dude, but I appreciate that shit more than... Wait a second, guys. Have you heard about the Matrix trailer?
Oh,
it's like,
fuck,
look,
I hate
man,
that,
we were just talking about, like, please, but continue.
God. It's fucking bizarre that we're getting a 4th Matrix movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like, am I the only one that's just like, that's insane?
It's been a while.
I remember back in like, we're talking like the old internet, and I feel like everyone here is from the old internet.
Yes.
But you would just get like fake leaks for the new stuff, and Matrix 4 was like, there was years of there's going to be a Matrix 4, and now it's actually happening. I'm still like in guarded mode where I still don't think it's real, even though I've seen the trailer
Yeah.
for it. I still think it's bullshit. It's crazy. It's the 4th Matrix film.
I never thought in a million years they would make another one.
Yeah, and I just gotta say, seeing that trailer and just sitting there just watching the trailer, and then all of a sudden telling you what fucking time it was.
Yeah. That was funny.
Didn't blow my mind on like a technical level, like, whoa, how'd they do that? Like, it's just, but I'm just sitting there, and it happened to be 6:23 a.m. when I'm sitting there watching it. I was sitting there, I was like, oh, cool, new Matrix trailer. All of a sudden, it's like, it's 6:23. I look at my watch, it's 6:23. I almost shit my pants. And I was like, that's like one of the most like Kojima things to do. It's like, I don't know, like to give some kind of fourth wall to a movie trailer. I just wasn't expecting it. Like that's why I was just like, wait, what? Like, and it got me fully.
When the initial novelty of that wore off, the only thing I could think of, because if you go back in and like refresh it every minute or so, the clips would change, right? So you would get a different glimpse of the movie. And after the first like 2 watches, once I sort of got like, oh, this is what they were doing, all I could think of were the actors in the studio sitting there for hours reciting every time on the clock in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
Like 6:23. Six
It's probably
twenty-four.
you do like all the
6:25.
hours.
Right,
You do
like
all
you
the
ha-
hours and then all the minutes, and then you can combine that.
And then the
It's
guy
smooth
who had to
enough.
cut it up and program it.
Yeah.
Like-
welcome to my job.
Oh
Um,
man. There are things I like about what they're doing with this movie. I mean, it's a trailer. You can only tell so much, right? There are things I like about it, and there are things that I am a little concerned about. I like the little continuity nods with, it's not green anymore because this is a different version. So they're picking up from where Revolutions left off, right?
Yeah, I can't believe, like, of course, and then of course, like, critics on the internet are like, oh, well, they didn't get the color grade right, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of the point, my dude.
Yeah, like watch the third movie again. Like that's how it ends.
Yeah, that thought didn't even enter my head for a second. Like, what a ridiculous criticism.
And-
Watch the fucking films.
Honestly, if you saw it in theaters and not on like Blu-ray or whatever, then it wasn't really that green to begin with.
Sorry, that joke has a lot of levels. I had a friend tell me about how the Blu-ray for Matrix was too green. It was oversaturated.
It's ridiculous.
He was telling me that when I was having like a mental breakdown to make me feel better. So every time I hear that, it reminds me of that. And I was like, thanks, man. But please continue.
Well, I like too the way that they've sort of recontextualized the Matrix. I heard somebody refer to the original Matrix, which was supposed to be like. Now we're not talking about the movie. We're talking about inside the Matrix itself, right?
Yeah.
It is supposed to be like 1999, and as I saw someone put it, it's like salaryman hell, right? Like it's just the doldrums of corporate life, right? And so then you have the rebels come in and they're all very punk and goth, and like you've got these very obvious counterculture elements. Like it's very of the time, right? And the way that they've sort of reimagined that for 2021 is rather than having these corporate doldrums, you've got people on their smartphones.
Yeah, it's like Brave New World-ish, where it's like everybody's
drinking lattes, taking pills, right? Like exactly, like everybody's happy.
Yeah, and in the first film, Agent Smith says when he's got Morpheus captured, he says to him, the first Matrix, like, we tried to make everyone happy and everyone rejected the programming. Is it not like, this is just completely my opinion, I don't know anything, but is this not going to be set before the Matrix? And this is going to be Neo? In fact, it can't because he knows Trinity.
Okay, so...
But like, is it not that Matrix where like everyone's
No.
happy and he's rejecting the programming?
I think that Matrix was more of like a conceptual utopia, whereas this is more of like as I mentioned before, sort of a Brave New World.
Yeah.
You mentioned. I was going to say you mentioned Brave New World, but the idea in Brave New World is that everyone's happy, and is caught up in what does he call it? The orgy porgy feelies. That's like from Brave New World.
Well,
I guess I mean like the extent of happiness that is. Whereas sorry, continue.
Well, I think what Daze is saying is it's not entirely analogous to Brave New World, but that's definitely sort of the feel you get from it. I mean, because if you look at what they're doing in the movie, and everyone's on their smartphones and drinking lattes and whatever, that's kind of how things are today. But at the same time, if you talk to those people, most of them would probably tell you they're not really that happy.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of prison. And that's what I think they're going for. They're not, completely sedated by endorphins.
Yeah.
Like in Brave New World. Like this isn't quite the same thing. I don't think that this is going to be that previous version of the Matrix. I know there's been like different versions of like the one in the past. I kind of know what they're doing with the movie, but I don't want to say it because it's probably, if it's right, I don't want to spoil anybody.
Well, if you're right,
please,
then
I don't want to know.
Wait, is this like pure speculation, or is this based off of like
It's
evidence?
like it's kind of half and half. Yeah, some of it's my speculation, some of it's
Because I was gonna say,
Unplug me now.
it would-
Unplug me.
it would be
Okay.
great. It would be great if you like completely called it, and then we could like harken back to it like in December. I don't know.
I will say this, it is not a prequel.
Yeah, I don't think it can be because he knows Trinity. So, and they like when they touch hands in the trailer.
This is okay, well this is my speculation. This is entirely my speculation, but I don't think Trinity is real.
Trinity's not real.
Not by a long shot. I don't think Morpheus is either.
Where's Lawrence Fishburne at?
Well, this is I don't know.
They did bring up that point about his character being dead from the MMO, so it's just I don't know. It's all confusing on what they're actually going with. So.
There's no way that they would keep something because
No,
it
they're
was
not
in
gonna
that
do
MMO.
that.
No fucking way. I played The Matrix Online, by the way. Oh, it's a great game of its time. I wouldn't recommend it. Not that you can. I mean, you can play it like on a. You can play a hacky version of it now, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
you can't have that experience as it was then. But even if you could, I probably still wouldn't recommend it. But I liked
Did-
it.
That's
Did
how I've
you-
heard a lot of people talk about Matrix Online and Star Wars Galaxies. So that's pretty
Yeah.
consistent consensus.
Did any of you see how they ended the Matrix Online when they shut the servers down? What they did?
Yes.
Yeah, it was that,
That was
baby.
pretty cool. If you want to break down that.
for the listeners, they basically had a countdown to an in-universe shutdown of the Matrix. And by the way, this is why I don't think they're going to follow that storyline. But like in the story, the Matrix is shutting down. But in order to like visually represent this, at the last second, every single player character gets like deformed and crunched into a ball, and they're screaming, and it's really disturbing looking. And so you hear like hundreds of people screaming as they're crunched into these balls, and then it brings up a window that says "Wake up," and then you click OK, and the game shuts down.
One of the best, in fact, the best MMO closure ever. Like no
Yeah.
other MMO has
The
done it as
Matrix
good.
Online shutdown walked so that Final Fantasy XIV's shutdown event could run.
Honestly, yeah. The Matrix Online might not have been a good, like, it might not have been good to play, but in terms of ideas, they were really far ahead of everybody else in terms of events. Like, they had game staff playing as characters in the game to progress the story.
That's fucking cool. Yeah, the equivalent of that, like from my MMO experience, is like running into a GM, and that's not even a thing. And
Yeah.
They had to stop doing that in World of Warcraft because people would write tickets to get GMs to show up and do weird shit. They literally had to stop doing it. But GMs in World of Warcraft would stay completely in character with you if you did. So if you spoke to the GM in character, they would have to speak to you in character as well. So people would just like constantly fuck with
That's
them.
cool.
was that the same thing with Matrix Online, where it was like, you know, once this staff member came online as this character, then there was just RPing or.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was
Wow.
like part of the story.
Role playing in the Matrix Online was like everywhere, and it was very weird and could never be replicated again. Like just the whole game could never be replicated again. But yeah, it was trippy.
I mean, I'll be honest. If there's anybody that I expect to make something so obscure that's canon, or that you have to depend on to understand some of the main series, it would be the Wachowski sisters, because I mean, I don't know, like I remember playing Into the Matrix to get a better understanding of Reloaded. So, you know, I don't expect, you know, Matrix Online to be something, the end all be all for the lore going into Matrix 4, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of involvement, or if they did decide to pursue those one-offs. And the Animatrix.
Didn't they kick off some fucking Star Wars canon in Fortnite? So,
Oh yeah,
I mean,
no, not that bad.
I don't think we're too far off here. I mean,
Well, it's not so much the Wachowskis anymore. As I understand it, only Lana's working on this new movie. and Lily is sort of just fully retired at this point.
Gotcha.
Busy being a multi-millionaire.
I
assume.
guess, Where's Speed Racer 2?
I was
damn
about
it?
to say, once you make Speed Racer, it's like that's it. I mean,
Like, that's
you
where
don't
you
have to do
peaked.
anything else.
Yeah.
So, something I didn't consider until now is that we may get another banger Matrix game, because Enter the Matrix is sick, Path of Neo's sick, Matrix
I
Online. Like, give us another
loved
game.
Path of Neo was so much damn fun.
Yeah, what a game. Absolutely awesome. I
The-
daren't play it. I don't even dare play it again, because it
The-
might not
yeah.
live up.
The ending had me crying with laughter.
Yeah, it was like, sorry,
Okay,
can I
wait,
spoil
wait.
that game?
If you have not played Path of Neo
It's been like 10 years.
and you have any interest, I know, but I'm still gonna say this because the Matrix is gonna become a thing again. So who knows? But if you have not played Path of Neo and you have any interest in it, skip ahead 5 minutes because
Yeah, don't listen.
oh my god, it's the best video game ending ever.
I'm so glad we got that disclosure of this is the 50th episode. We can go a little longer because Jesus.
So Apache, go for it.
No, I was gonna say in more crudely than you're gonna say it, so I'll just say mine first. But they basically just went, "Sorry, the movie's shit. We're gonna do something totally different for the video game. We're just gonna totally change it." And it literally comes up like telling you that they're doing it in the game.
And they even go I can't even get it out. It's like, and we get that the whole Jesus thing in a video game is kind of lame. So instead, we're gonna give you a super boss.
But there's oh my god, the Path of Neo has so much going for it.
Yeah,
Like the endless level where you just constantly fight enemies repeatedly. Like they made such a good combat system that they just let you go at it, and that's just like in the film where you could just load in a place and like have a training simulator. It's a fucking banger game.
it was like you play that game and you really get the feeling that they stopped taking themselves so seriously and they just had fun with it. And that feeling of just having fun with it is through the whole thing. It was just good. I mean, yeah, it's a little janky, but it was good jank.
What did you think about Enter the Matrix, the game?
It was okay. I mean, I had a good time with it, but the whole time I was playing it, I was like, man, I wish I could play as Neo.
Fair. You kind of do want to play as Neo, right? If you're playing a
Yeah.
Matrix game, you're like, I mean, that was the big problem that the MMO had as well, is that everyone wanted to be Neo.
And when they understood that and made the path of Neo, it clicked wonderfully.
Yeah.
Because I mean God, imagine like a company like Platinum Games making a Matrix game now,
Shit.
I want to play that.
right?
There's one game developer who might be interested in making a Matrix game.
Hmm.
You may have heard of him.
Oh, shut up, Jesus!
He's a big Matrix
I
fan.
can't believe I've walked into that.
We're glad to have you on here permanently,
Welcome to
man.
the show, buddy.
I'm having so much fun.
He said a mine, and I walked right into it.
Dude, that happened to me the other day.
What's the name of the show again?
Did I subvert your expectations? I'm so sorry.
Get out of here with that shit. That legitimately happened to me the other day. I was playing through MGS1 to get the tuxedo on a save on my PlayStation 3. And I think I still have the recording, but I put down the mine and I just walk right into it and Snake just died. Not the first time that's happened, but it generally happens more with Raiden than it does with Snake for me. But yeah, speaking of Kojima and the Matrix, I just did the one thing that I said I don't like to do.
It's okay, we'll forgive it.
Don't let it happen again. Nah. Like everybody, I saw you talking about, or I don't know if it started with a tweet by Kojima or you replied to him or how that started, but he or you were recalling information about like an impromptu interview with the Wachowskis between
Yeah,
him and the Wachowskis?
He was reminiscing after the trailer came out, and he was so excited about it. And he yeah, I guess he was doing like a PR circuit, and the Wachowskis were also doing one, and he was like, hey, can I meet them? And they were like, hey, can we meet Kojima? And because they were, mutual fans of each other. And so there's a photo of them together with, I guess, the GamePro editor. I think it was GamePro. And the Wachowskis are holding up a Konami sign, and it's really cool. And I remember going back to just, I've tried to find some reference to this, but this was around the time that the very first conversations about Metal Gear Solid as an actual movie started to pop up, and not in like an official capacity, just this was when conversations started, right? And if I'm remembering right, somebody was interviewing Kojima and asked him, if there was ever a Metal Gear Solid movie adaptation, who would you want to do it? And he immediately said the Wachowskis. And everyone else, all the fans were like, yes, please, right? Because that seems like the obvious choice. But that was kind of the first seeds planted for the whole MGS movie idea. So I don't know. I've never been able to find that interview. If somebody could find that and link me to it, that would be great.
That's kind of ironic in two ways. From a macro perspective, it's like, that story about the Wachowskis. Oh, we want to meet Kojima. Oh, I want to meet the Wachowskis. I feel like that happens like with the advent of social media and again Kojima's Twitter. That happens like on a weekly basis where he tweets about a movie or something that he likes, and then the director or the artist is like, holy shit, I love you, Kojima. Like, now it's just sort of like a daily occurrence. The second thing that I think is very funny is I think that the Wachowskis would be a great creatives to work on the Metal Gear Solid movie. But the irony about this is I'm looking at it from a very like surrealist, like a very surrealist piece of a surrealist action film. Obviously that's their forte, but I think everybody else or a few folks were looking at it from the perspective of, man, like, can you imagine Matrix-like scenes in Metal Gear? And now it's ironic because we did get those and people were like, what the fuck, man?
Boo.
Boo this man.
Oh man. Originally, MGS2, all the members of Dead Cell were going to wear sunglasses as a reference to the Matrix. And you can see this in the concept art, but then they kind of took it out.
Yeah, we just get the sunglasses in New Game Plus for Raiden and Snake.
Yeah.
Raiden suits them and Snake does not.
It would be interesting though. As far as adapting anime into film, I think the Wachowskis are a better choice than most. Speed Racer is a friggin' blast.
That's what I was
love
gonna
that
say. I
movie.
mean, Speed Racer is
love that.
proven that they can do that.
And it was not well received when it came out either. Like, that's a movie that sort of became a cult classic later on.
Yeah.
But I was in love with that movie from the first time I saw it. It's like, this is absolutely insane, and it is the only way you could have done this. Why didn't these two do the Dragon Ball movie? Where were they?
I remember working at a movie theater when that movie came out, and the theater was always empty. So I always was able to sneak in and watch it. I still can't believe they got John Goodman to be in that film. But yeah, really looking forward to The Matrix.
I appreciated the double fake out on Racer X.
Oh yeah.
It's the first movie that I've been like super excited for in a long time, and it comes out at Christmas, right? They said this Christmas.
Yeah, it's they have the release date's a palindrome. So it's 1/2/11/21. So December 11th. Which, you know, we over here in the US write our dates weird. So
I'm like, is it?
That's funny. Yeah, that doesn't work outside of out of US.
we do month, day, year instead of day, month, year.
Cause yeah, why not? Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Put the month first. That makes sense.
I did see that there's one more bullet point that we have. It's kind of old, but still interesting nonetheless. Is that there was the boba skip, and that was really fucking cool. Apache, I think that you mentioned that they didn't you guys figure out that all I wrote was MGS1's escape second controller trick. So I know that it's
All
in
right,
the
guys.
escape.
All right, guys. Have you heard of a game called Metal Gear Solid? It came out on the PlayStation 1.
It rings a bell.
It was pretty popular.
No.
At the end of the game, you are chased through a tunnel. You're on a jeep. You're driving out, trying to escape. It's called The Escape. During
I'm sorry.
I'm building up to it. Anyway,
I don't know why that got me the way it did.
I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm just like this all the time. Basically, during the escape section, there's checkpoints and you have to shoot guards from the back of your truck. Someone realized that if you hold a direction on the second controller, you can influence how the guards move, which people immediately thought was like Psycho Mantis, right? You have to put your controller into the second port so he can't read your mind. I don't think it's that. I think it's a bug, or maybe something like the devs used to when they were programming the game.
This is a debug function that didn't get stripped out.
Yeah, but it's amazing that no one's noticed until now. I mean, we're saying this like every week at this point, right?
What's next month's big Metal Gear reveal going to be?
This one in particular is not unprecedented because the flag, I wrote this in the notes too, the flag is, in MGS2 you can control the flag during the C4 shooting segment with the second controller. It's the same concept, just a little more sentient because it's guards.
Yeah, like
now all of y'all speedrunners and just other people are just running around too, just like hitting the second controller.
What else can we do?
everywhere.
Figure out, like,
yeah, literally
anything
everywhere.
moving? Y'all see anything?
Every room in the fucking game. In Metal Gear Solid 3, I'm like looking at my second controller. I'm like, I wonder if I can get Eva to drive better if I press this.
I have two questions for you then. On this note, does it work in integral?
Oh,
And
yeah.
On the PC version, no, it doesn't. But there isn't a second controller isn't defined on the PC version. There is no port 2 to speak of because the keyboard is used for the Psycho Mantis fight, but it's not considered port 2. It's
okay,
just
so then that makes sense. The other question is, just to see if it was intentional, because this would lend credence to the idea that this is just a debug function that they left in on accident.
Here's the smoking gun, right? Here's why it's not intended. The guards can walk through the fucking wall on the left side of the screen.
Oh,
if you're holding like down left and all the guards run in this direction, I'll comment on the video on YouTube if you want to see what it looks like. They literally clip into the wall, so there's no way it's meant to be there. There's absolutely no way. And there are a few people who like jumped on this, like, Bad Humans, Dog, Lord Emmerich, we're all talking about it on Twitter. And, initially it was like, could this be like a Psycho Mantis thing? And then after a few people took a look at it, everyone was kind of like in a consensus of no, it's definitely not intended. But why it has so much significance is not just for a speed run. For a long time, people have been into like completing the Metal Gear games without taking damage. It's very hard to do the escape without getting hit because of these checkpoint sections. You get 3 guards at this checkpoint, and you can fan between two of them. So fanning is where you just move the gun left to right and you hit them a couple of times each, and it prevents them from shooting back. But the guard on the left will always hit you when you do this, or there's a very high chance that you will. But now there's a consistent way to always get through that section without taking a hit. So a damageless run, and not only the speed run is faster, like by 11 seconds, the no damage run is like not only possible but really consistent now as well.
That's crazy. I'm not even going to ask my second question now because you basically confirmed it. I was going to ask if it showed up in Twin Snakes, which if it was an intentional thing, you might think
It
you know,
doesn't.
maybe they would throw that way. Yeah, and I figured it wouldn't, but never hurts to ask.
Yeah, it was immediately tested by Blue Metal as soon as it came out. Within like 20 minutes, Blue Metal's probably one of the best Twin Snakes players on Earth. Like 20 minutes later, he's like, "Yeah, it doesn't work in Twin Snakes, guys." I tried. He was like, "I tried it in every port because the GameCube has 4 ports, right?" He was like, "Tried it in every port. It doesn't work."
Does the Jeep have collision on it where if it hits any of the guards, they'll react or take damage or anything, or does it just pass right through?
They die. I think you can run over a guard when you first enter the Jeep, and you have to blow up the barrels to get through the first fence.
Right.
You can run over a guard there.
It's a shame that you have to kill those guards in order to progress from those checkpoints. Because otherwise you could do something really funny like having them run to the far end of the of the ramp and then just run them over.
And run them over. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
That's just God, what else are you gonna find in this freaking game?
I keep telling when I first started playing MGS3, when I first got into the community, not first started playing it, but first started speedrunning it. Everyone was like, "Oh, everything's been found. Nothing's going to be found in these games." It's like we're finding stuff in Metal Gear Solid 1 3 years later. Like, there's tons of stuff to be found in these games. Like, please believe that there's so much more out there with these games to be found. We'll have new stuff for you. Like, and just have a look yourself as well. I mean, Boba found something, so anyone can.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff in MGS2 that I learned about pretty recently that I actually didn't know about. And God, I thought I knew just about everything about that game. One thing I genuinely did not know that the seagulls would attack you if you kept shooting at them long enough.
They're like the chicken and
Yeah, because I never
Zelda.
attacked them for too long, so I didn't know about it until I saw a video clip. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, I just thought they pooped on you.
Yeah, or and this was I posted about this a while back, but the fact that Vamp and Solidus, when they are in the Harrier flying by, they look at you. Like their heads actually turn to look at you. And I doubt that's so much an intentional detail as just a consequence of how NPC characters work in Engine, but it's still kind of creepy.
It's super creepy. I didn't know that. That's really creepy.
Yeah, someone basically used the in-game camera and got a shot of it, and you can see them both, the jet's flying by and they've both got their heads turned and they're looking at you. It's really
yeah, I remember
unsettling.
that. They just stay locked onto you.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the same behavior you see from like Snake when you're near him, where he'll turn his head towards you. So I bet it was just something like that. But man, I mean, not to drag this on longer, but with as much as you run MGS3, what was the last sort of major speed running revelation there? I guess you could say.
Being able to skip the lab section by clipping out of bounds in the warehouse. It can only be done in multi-segment. The way we run Metal Gear Solid 3 is it's single segment, so you can't load saves. You play it all in one playthrough. And you can't exit out and load a save. You can in a category called multi-segment, where you can try the rooms as many times as you like, and you have to like piece it all together at the end from like your saves. So if you fuck up on a save, you can load back to your save and then try that section again. But with only on the PS3, you can do as a glitch, which is you manipulate the items menu to make Snake like zip through the air. A guy called Appel, who found all the glitches for like Tomb Raider and stuff, is very knowledgeable, clever guy. He basically, the first time you go into the warehouse, you can get through that locked door that you get the key for from Granin. So you skip all of the lab, all the fear, and you go straight from the warehouse to the end. The boss called the end.
Jeez.
I walked into that one, don't know fucking hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a 7-minute time save. It's huge. Like we can skip so many bosses, but it can only be done in multi-segment. So eventually I do want to go through and do a really good multi-segment run with all the skips. I want to do like a damageless multi-segment run.
Heck, man, I just want to see you do it blindfolded.
Everyone keeps saying, yeah, it's coming. Like I'm when this episode won't be. I've already done it by the time this episode comes out, but I'm doing a blindfolded all bosses run in UKSG Marathon on the ESA channel.
Yeah, I saw you were doing the Fury earlier. I was watching you do that. I was like, Jesus Christ, man, this is intense.
I was doing hard mode Fury because
on Xbox too, where there's more fire. I was like, what the fuck?
The Xbox is hard mode.
I saw the video of you beating the end with a blindfold on, and I couldn't friggin' believe it. Just
yeah.
I understand how you're doing it. Like I mentally understand how you're doing it, but I can't process it.
Yeah, I mean the end always spawns in the same position at the start of the fight. So you've got 3 rooms. You're 3 rooms away from him. He's always going to be in the same place. So the first room, I just need to get to the load zone in a certain amount of time, because after he's fired, after a while, if you take too long, he runs off and changes position. So I have to get to the next room before he does that.
Right?
Yeah. He'll go to who knows where. He can go like to the left room, the right room. He can go all over the place. At that point, I'm fucked. I have to like fake death pill, reset the room. But I can get out of it pretty consistently. Even if I get hit by him, it's fine. Like, because I can do the cure menu blindfolded. It's just pause down 3 times. Once you open the menu, you're always on the tranquilizer, and then you just hold R2 and X to get rid of it. The second room is it's like an upside. I was about to say an upside down U. So it's like an N shape, and you have to like just go in a big. It's really easy to do the second room. And the third room, I use the cigar as like a metronome. So the cigar like beeps.
That's the coolest thing, I think.
So I set myself up into a position. I put the cigar on, and then I just let it beep 5 times, and then I know I'm behind him. And then at that point, you're just doing a sequence of attacks, which is I already have that coded in muscle memory, because you have to do that in no matter how you fight the end. Like, you have to do this sequence on him.
Jeez.
I'm going to do the whole game. Like, it's going to take time, but I am going to do all of Metal Gear Solid 3 blindfolded.
That is the kind of thing you do a fundraiser for right there.
I want to do it at GDQ. Like, some games done quick, baby. Like, I don't do like, all this stuff I do is to like make it exciting so I can do charity events and just like play the game I love.
And sometimes you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this in the not to promote our Discord, but like, fuck it, I just kind of want to do this in the Discord.
Yeah, I want to do more of that. That was so fun playing in the Discord, just having people coming in and talking about the game, and that to me, in some ways, is a more fun experience than Twitch. I know a lot of people like love streaming on Twitch, and I just find talking to chat less fun than talking to people like, in voice.
So join the Discord if you're listening.
Yeah, hell yeah. Come play Metal Gear Solid 3.
Come to our Twitter page, YouTube, wherever. We got links.
Join the Patreon.
Yeah.
Listening to this live, hear the unedited versions.
Did I tell you to stop paying for the Patreon, Apache?
Yeah, I didn't, but yeah, I will.
Stop paying for your own content.
I just like it so much.
Look, I know you love feeling yourself, but come on, man.
So, any closing thoughts? This has been 50 episodes we've done. which is something special.
I can't believe it.
Here's to 50 more.
I'll do 50. Hell yeah.
God, if they bring out some more games, we might have stuff to talk about.
I can't believe, that's the big thing right there is like, I cannot believe we managed to find 50 episodes of content for a series that's been dead for, the better part of a few years.
Yeah.
Well, we are long overdue for getting into, Snatcher, Police Knots, Zone of the Enders.
Yeah.
We've got other things.
Bomberman. We need to kick
the
kick
the
into
Boktai
Overdrive.
special.
I'd imagine we're gonna kick in a Boktai special.
I have heard a rumor that they're remaking Metal Gear Solid.
Shut up.
God damn it, Apache. You're off the show.
I will say, from me personally, for anybody listening, thank you for sticking with us for 50 episodes. Honestly, whether you joined from the beginning or you're just tuning in now, it's awesome that people listen to us rant and rave about things on a regular basis, and it means a lot to me personally.
Yeah, big thanks to all the guests, all the people that listen. It's a lot of work, a lot of time that goes into each of these episodes each week, but people comment and send in the love and all the positive stuff. We definitely appreciate it. So keep on doing that.
But yeah, I feel like wishing for 50 more episodes or 50 more good episodes is implying that we'd love to see more Metal Gear. So more Metal Gear games, movies, whatever that is. So yeah, looking forward to
Maybe
it.
we'll get a movie.
We better get invited to the premiere, I'm just saying.
At least we're not Sonic fans. So
Yeah.
Bringing it full circle.